Story: Anya and the Dragon. In a land far away, there lived an old dragon. He was kept chained up in the king's palace. Everyone was scared of him. The dragon was lonely and sad. He did not want people to be afraid of him. He wanted to be free and fly in the sky. The chains on his feet hurt him. But what could he do? Late one night, the dragon was sleeping when he heard something. He opened his eyes sleepily. It was Princess Anya. Her left leg was shorter than her right leg. She had to walk on crutches. "Will you give me a ride on your back?" asked Anya. She told the dragon that she couldn't go horse riding like her brothers. The king wouldn't let her because of her crutches. "I know where the keys to your chains are kept," she said. "My father keeps them in his cupboard." "Aren't you afraid of me?" asked the dragon. "No," said the brave princess. "You have kind eyes." The dragon smiled. The next night, Anya visited the dragon again. She had the keys and unlocked his chains. They crept outside. The dragon stretched his wings. Ah, it felt so good. They flew up high and swooped down low. They flew near the moon and over the stars. When they came back, the king was waiting for them. "I saw you," said the king. Anya was scared, and so was the dragon. But the king smiled. "I have never seen you so happy, Anya," he said. "From now on, you can ride on the dragon. I know you will be safe with him." He took the keys from Anya and threw them in the pond. The dragon smiled. He was free at last, and he had a friend. "I'll ride on a rainbow to soar through the sky. I'll ride on a kite as it flies way up high. I'll ride on a dragon. I'll ride a balloon. I'll ride on a rocket and ride on the moon. I'll ride on the wind and the sun and the stars, on floating bananas and flying guitars. I'll ride on a cloud and a unicorn too. I'll ride in the seat of a magical shoe." But why would I ride on the sun and the stars? It's so much more fun than just riding in cars. Story: The Old Woman Who Lived in a Vinegar Bottle. There was once a tiny old woman who lived in a vinegar bottle. It was a tiny house with a tiny bed in which the little old woman slept with her knees pulled up right under her chin. Every day the old woman sat outside and complained about her house. "Oh, what a pity that I have to live in a house such as this. I want a proper little house with wooden walls and a real roof and neighbors to talk to." Just then a fairy was passing by and she thought, "Poor old woman, I think I can help her." The fairy flew across to the old woman and said, "Turn around 3 times before you go to bed tonight. Tomorrow you will see what you will see." And off she flew. "I suppose I can try it," the old woman thought, and before she went to bed, she first turned around 3 times. When she woke up the next morning, she heard people talking and calling to each other. And there she was, in a proper little house, with wooden walls and a real roof, and neighbors to talk to. A few months later, the fairy was passing by again, and there was the old woman sitting outside her little house. And what did the fairy hear? "Oh, what a pity that I should have to live in a house such as this. I should be living in a big house on a hill with a servant to do all the work and no neighbors to make a noise. Well, what should I do now?" thought the fairy, and spoke to the old woman as before. When the old woman went to bed, she turned around 3 times and got into bed. The next morning, when she woke up, she was sure she would find herself in a house on a hill. But where was she? She was back in the vinegar bottle. But, she cried out when she saw the fairy watching her. "And here you will stay," said the fairy. "Happiness comes from the heart and not from the house." Story: Mike runs away from home. Mike is 5 years old. He is sitting on his parents' bed eating a bowl of noodles. His father is reading a book. "Father, Mike, you cannot eat on the bed." Mike doesn't listen. "Father, you are going to make a mess. Get off the bed and go and eat in the kitchen." Mike, "Nothing will happen, Pa." Just then, the bowl slips from his hand and the noodles land on Pa's new shirt, leaving a big stain. Mike, "Oh no!" "Father, I told you not to eat here. Now look at my shirt." Mike, "I'm sorry." Father, "Put the shirt in the bathroom and take the bowl away. No TV for you tomorrow." Mike gets up with a grumpy expression and takes the shirt to the bathroom. Mike, "This is so unfair. I said I was sorry. I was just playing." Mike throws the shirt on the bathroom floor. "Nobody cares about me. I'm going to run away from home." He leaves the bathroom, grabs the bowl, and goes to his bedroom. "That's it. I'm going to pack whatever I need and leave now." He picks up his toothbrush and some books. I need a bag for my things." Mike picks up his toothbrush and books and goes to the sitting room where his grandma is reading. Grandma, "Why such a long face, Mike? What happened?" Mike, "Can you please give me your bag?" Grandma, "Why? You look upset. What happened?" Mike, "I spilled noodles on Pa's shirt, so I'm running away from home." Grandma laughs. Mike, "Pa shouted at me. Please give me your bag. Grandma gives him the bag. Grandma, do you need help packing? Mike shakes his head and puts the toothbrush and books in the bag. Grandma, is that all? Mike, oh, I forgot my clothes. Mike runs back to his room. Mike opens his cupboard, takes out his favorite clothes, and returns to the sitting room. He tries to stuff them inside the bag, but can't. His sister comes in. Sister, what are you doing, Mike? Grandma, he is running away from home. His sister laughs. Sister, here, take my school bag. Mike smiles a little and takes the bag. He puts in his clothes. Mike, oh, I forgot to take my toys. He runs back to his room. In the meantime, his parents come into the sitting room. Grandma points to the bag to show them what is happening. Mike returns with more toys and board games. Mother, I don't think all those things will fit in the bag, Mike. Mike tries to stuff it all in, but he can't. Father, here, take my suitcase. Everyone is smiling now. Even Mike smiles as he takes everything and puts it inside Pa's big suitcase. Father, ready to run away now? Mike, oh no. Mother, what? Mike, I forgot to take my bicycle. Everyone bursts out laughing. It's clear that a bicycle won't fit into the suitcase. Mike, I think we should all have ice cream now. Sister, why? Mike, I have decided to come back home. Everyone smiles. Father, we can all have ice cream if you promise to listen in future. You have been naughty and rude. Mike, I'm sorry, Pa. I really do not want to leave. Mike sits in Pa's lap and happily eats ice cream. Story: The Magic Words. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful blue lagoon. Many creatures lived there. There were dolphins and fish. There were seahorses and octopuses. There were turtles and eels. The lagoon was a very happy place. One day, a sea dragon came to the lagoon. The sea dragon was a mean creature. This lagoon is too happy. I must make it sad, he said. The sea dragon closed his eyes. He said the magic words. I am the dragon, big and strong. I take what is right and make it wrong. I am meaner than all the fish in the sea. I never say excuse me, thank you, or please. He opened his eyes. He saw that the creatures were still happy. The dolphins danced. The seahorses sang. The eels smiled. The octopuses hummed. The sea dragon was surprised. He closed his eyes again. Again he said the magic words. I am the dragon, big and strong. I take what is right and make it wrong. I am meaner than all the fish in the sea. I never say excuse me, thank you, or please. He opened his eyes, but the creatures were all still happy. The dolphins still danced. The seahorses still sang. The eels still smiled. The octopuses still hummed. Just then, a tiny green turtle swam up. Good morning, Mr. Sea Dragon. Welcome to our lagoon. May I show you around? If you have to, he said. Thank you, Mr. Sea Dragon. Would you like to hear our magic song? It can't be better than mine, the dragon said rudely. I'm sorry, Mr. Sea Dragon. I didn't mean to make you mad. But our song has many magic words. All right, roared the dragon. Sing this magic song. The dolphins danced. The seahorses sang. The eels smiled. The octopuses hummed. And the turtles nodded their heads in time to the song. At Happy Lagoon, we are always polite. With our magic words, we turn wrong into right. The first magic words are may I and please. When we need something, we always say these. Welcome, we say when we see someone new. And when our friends help us, we say thank you. Excuse me and sorry are polite things to say when we make someone sad or get in their way. We say good morning and also good night. At Happy Lagoon, we are always polite. Soon the sea dragon was singing and dancing too. He bumped into a dolphin. Excuse me, Mr. Dolphin, said the sea dragon. From that day on, the dragon sang a new song. I am the dragon, big and strong. I make others happy with my song. I will always be nice to the fish in the sea. I will always say, excuse me, thank you, and please. Said the duck to the kangaroo, good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you, said the duck to the kangaroo. Please give me a ride on your back, said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole of the long day through. And we would go to the Dee and the Jelly Bowl Lee, over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride, oh do, said the duck to the kangaroo. Said the kangaroo, I am ready, all in the moonlight pale. But to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady and quite at the end of my tail. So away they went with a hop and a bound, and they hopped the whole world 3 times round. And who so happy, oh who, as the duck and the kangaroo. Story: The Big Mix-Up. Cherry and Chase, said Mom as she was leaving. I have to go and visit Aunt Rita in hospital. Would you please do a few things while I am away? I've made a list. Sure, Mom, said Cherry, waving goodbye. Feed the cat and the canary. Measure and soak a cup of dried beans. Change the towels in the bathroom. Dust the dining room. Lay the table. Draw the curtains. That's a very long list, grumbled Chase. If you do two of the course, I'll do the others, suggested Cherry. Chase wondered what the cat ate. He stared at the cans and bags in the kitchen. In the meantime, Cherry scooped a cup full of dried beans out of a bag and then looked at the list again. Soak a cup of dried beans, she read. Now I wonder, does Mom want me to soak the cup or the beans? And how do I measure them? Perhaps she wants me to count them. Very confusing, she thought. So she tipped the beans into a bowl with some water to soak. She put the cup into the bowl as well, just in case. Chase found a box of cat food and put some in the cat's bowl. Now what about the canary? He wondered. Too lazy to look any further, he put some in the canary's bowl as well. Cherry went to the bathroom. How did Mom expect her to change the towels? She loved painting. So she used purple and green paints and made pretty flowers on them. Another job done well, she thought. The next job was to dust the dining room. She went outside and collected a handful of fine sand from the garden. She carefully blew little puffs all over the furniture. That is dusty enough, she said to herself. Now, how should I lay the table? When I lie down to sleep, I turn on my side, she thought. The table was heavy, so she called Chase. He rolled his eyes but helped her to turn the table on its side. Well, that's the table laid, she said proudly. Chase flopped down on the couch. Hurry up, you haven't drawn the curtains yet. Mom will be home soon. Ugh, said Chase. Cherry fetched a sheet of paper and some crayons and hurriedly drew a picture of the kitchen curtains. She was quite pleased with her drawing. Soon Mom returned home. Thank you, children. Aunt Rita feels better. What? Is that cat food in the canary's bowl? She exclaimed. I thought the canary would like to eat something different, Chase explained. Mom laughed. I think you should rather give it these seeds. Mom went to the bathroom to wash her hands. Oh no! My beautiful new towels! What happened to them? You asked us to change them, Mom, and I thought the best way was to paint them. Mom just shook her head. Did you lay the table for dinner? For dinner? You didn't list that. You just wrote lay the table, and I thought that was what you meant. Mom looked upset. Come, help me lift the table to set it back straight, and let me show you how to lay the table. And why didn't you draw the curtains? The house gets so hot in the afternoon. But I did, exclaimed Cherry. Chase wouldn't do it, but I did. She held up her drawing proudly. Look at this. After dinner that evening, Mom said, Thank you for trying to help today, but I think I should let you help me with household chores more often so that you can learn how to do things properly. I stood against the window and looked between the bars, and there were strings of fairies hanging from the stars. everywhere and everywhere. In shining swinging chains, the air was full of shimmering, like sunlight when it rains. They kept on swinging, swinging. They flung themselves so high, they caught upon the pointed moon and hung across the sky. And when I woke next morning, there still were crowds and crowds in beautiful bright bunches, all sleeping on the clouds. If I were a lizard, I would lie around all day and stick out my tongue in a very naughty way. And my mother couldn't tell me it's a wicked thing to do, since she would be a lizard and she would do it too. If I were a cricket, I would hop around all day and suck my teeth quite often in a chirping sort of way. And my mother couldn't tell me it's a wicked thing to do, since she would be a cricket and she would do it too. If I were a rat bat, I would sleep the livelong day. At night, then, I would stay awake in a most upsetting way. And my mother couldn't tell me it's a wicked thing to do, since she would be a rat bat and she would do it too. If I were an earthworm, I would play in dirt all day and drag my feet behind me in a lazy sort of way. And my mother couldn't tell me it's a wicked thing to do, since she would be an earthworm and she would do it too.